Hello and welcome again to High Desert Home and Garden. Today, as we have 20-mile-an-hour sustained winds with gusts near 60, we're working inside again, so we're back to truck maintenance. In this case, I have brand new shiny shock absorbers for the rear of the 95 with the 7.3. Really simple task to do. 18mm wrench and an 18mm socket and ratchet is all we need, and some type of penetrating oil. Today I used WD-40 because I'm out of everything else for some reason. Anyway, this is, like I said, a very simple task. It's a bolt and a stud. In this particular case on the rear, I did the fronts and front wheel bearings about a month ago. Anyway, let's get this project started. It shouldn't take very long to do them both, but I'll take you along the way. Alright. So, as I said, really simple, really easy task, as long as the bolts come loose, which these aren't in that bad a shape, so shouldn't be much of a problem. Well, you can see they go out, but I really shouldn't be able to push them back in quite that easy. So they're worn out. Let's see here. Get this thing a minute. And where is it? I'm looking at it and can't see it. There it is. Okay, so here's your upper mounting bolt. Oh, this is actually a stud. It's welded into this mount right here, so you don't have to have a wrench on the back side of this. That's an excellent idea. But anyway, we got to take that nut off. Next, I don't know if I can set this camera so you guys can see or not, but anyway. These are some type of lock nut, I guess, because they are just tight all the way off. Either that or it's just the dirt that's on them. Either way, it's a good idea to just be patient. I really don't like using impacts for these just in case they are stuck, because you'd be in a world of hurt if you break your shock mount, which has happened, believe me. So, now then, wiggle it off. And these do go up in between the, let's see, what am I looking at here? That's the spring. Go up in between the park brake cable and the axle. So you got to kind of work it around that. One down, off anyway. this up different. So that's that. Now, let's go ahead and slide our new one on. See there's some old rubber on there. We better get that off if we can. And that's just because it'll make it go on easier. So, as I said, we're going to go up behind the park brake cable. And then it should just slide on like so. Sorry for bumping the camera, but there's really no good place to put this thing. For me anyway, I don't have a GoPro, so ooh, over it goes. That would have been good. And then tighten your nut. This top one goes on and bottoms out when it gets to the fat part of that stud, so it's as tight as it's going to get. Now, reset. Okay, I think that angle will work. So now you see this, we have this nice little strap here that's holding this shock compressed. Only problem with that is it doesn't quite make the shock mount. Alright, so this can be the fun part, but what I do is I cut this off up high like so. It doesn't really take much to hold it or to make it go slowly down. But the thing is you don't want it to go past your bolt hole, because then you will have to get a jack to push this thing back up. Takes a little bit of quickness to get it in there, but it's way better to get it on the bolt rather than have to go back and well, go get a jack so you can jack the shock back up into the shock mount and put the bolt in. I watched a guy fight with one for quite a while one day, and just really wasn't necessary. There's my ratchet. It's one problem about working on the floor. You'll put stuff down and forget where to put it. And this bottom one will too tighten up against the mount, and that's it for this side. The other side's a little bit more fun because it's over here behind the fuel tank. See if we can find a way to show you how to do that one. If not, well, that's basically the same thing. It's just a little bit more of a struggle on the other side. Okay, so like I said, fuel tanks are all kinds of in the way on this one, but, well, it's in the way for a decent camera shot anyway. But for the most part, it's no different and no more difficult than the other side to get to. Just, you guys can't see all it well. Dip my wrench on here. Ooh, that one wants to be stubborn. Imagine that, parts on a 25, 23-year-old truck being stubborn. So again, this upper mount is just a stud. Just like the other side, just a little bit more fun to get to. Holding off. That bolt's okay. It's just rusty. Just a little rusty. So again, leave your little strap here intact until you have the shock in place. Nut back on. Down until it stops, and then we'll do it those. There they are. Now that time I screwed up. That's the way it's supposed to work. I'm gonna put this nut on just in case that bolt decides to jump out for no good reason. Not gonna happen, but anyway. And then cut your nice little retainer strap off. The rest of the way. Tight and tight, all done. Alright, so here we have the shocks that we took off. These are actual Motorcraft shocks. I would seriously expect them not to be the OE part, but I don't know. I haven't owned this thing since it was new. But either way, I'm not pushing very hard at all. And you know, I'm not a little guy, but I shouldn't be able to compress a gas spring like that and just, you know. It was kind of one of those deals where I didn't exactly realize just how bad off this thing was until I rode in one that had good shocks. Believe me, those are few and far between in these OBS Fords, is finding one with good shocks. And, you know, they are very, very important things to have on your truck. Not only do they improve the ride, but you know, also they will save your springs a whole lot, especially if you do very much rough road driving. Anyway, I did all 4 of them. No, I didn't use any fancy brands or anything like that. I used Monroe shock absorbers. So I completed this job for, I think, $215. I did all 4 shocks. And again, guys, you can do them front and then the rear, rear then front, whatever you want to do. But yeah, it'll save you a lot of headache and a lot of time. As I said, you know, these old trucks, they don't ride good no matter what you do to them, but I was rather amazed when I got into a friend of mine's. He had it was a '96 F-250 with, you know, it's basically the same truck as this one. Regular cab, the whole bit. His is an automatic, mine's 5-speed. Anyway, his rides, or rode anyway, so much better than this one did that I had to start considering things. And but anyway, I made mention in a video a while back that I was going to do front shocks, wheel bearings and all that good stuff. I did all that, and you know, you can see I've got a nice bright yellow shock in there. And I also did wheel bearings, which, you know, again, not a hard job to do. You just take that out, and then there's a nut in there that uses this special little socket. Now, one thing that I found out, I thought that they were all F2, F1, F2, F-350 trucks all use the same socket. They do not. The 2 and 350 requires a larger size socket. I had one for an F1, I have one, I should say, for an F-150 somewhere. Anyway, course I can't find it at the moment, but it is just a slightly smaller diameter. You know, again, not a whole lot to it. Take this out, there's a snap ring that holds the actual piece that locks the axle to the hub. Pop that out, pull the hub, pull the lock assembly out, take the nut out. They are both right hand thread. I had an 88 that the left hand side was left hand thread and the right hand side of the truck was right hand thread. I don't know, maybe that was just mine, but that's the way it was. And I did get new tires on the front of it, and I think I'm going to go get new tires on the back of it probably tomorrow. Either way though, don't claim your old truck rides rough just because it's an old truck. It's not going to ride like a new truck, but it doesn't ride like crap just because it's old, okay? Moral of the story basically is, if you don't know, find out when the shocks were changed last. If nobody knows, like I bought this one from a 75-year-old man that bought it new, and the way the rest of the truck was maintained, I can't imagine these never being changed. I don't know if there's a date code on them or not. But anyway, as I said, these are a Motocraft shock absorber, so they may very well be the original equipment. But yeah. Anyway, guys, take care of your stuff and don't let these fool you. They do go bad. At any rate, this is High Desert Home and Garden. It's cold and windy, so we're doing maintenance today. And if you like the video, please comment, rate, and subscribe. And if you don't, go ahead and hit the dislike button, and I'm okay with that too. Either way, we'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, and on to the next thing.